Hiyo, it's me, Io, the Popcorn Philosopher. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, fellow alien and fellow philosopher. It's me. Whoa. It's another acid trip. On this channel, we've gotten a visit from the moon. We've gotten a visit from hummingbirds and doves. Now we just got a visit. This guy wasn't kidding, was he? Yeah, I really might be tripping. Welcome to Throwback Thursdays, and I believe it's day 10 of our Kate Bush journey, or this number right here. Thank you, editing me. Yes, it's day this of our Kate Bush journey. Last time we explored the song The Kick Inside and its connection to Lucy Wan. We'll leave that link down below, as well as our Kate Bush journey playlist down in the description box, in case you wanted to watch that. But today, we are going to look at some firsts. I'm going to look at Kate Bush's very first televised interview, as well as her very first televised performance, to go along with her very first album. So let's stop talking and let's start listening. Yeah, let's do it. I'm really excited about this because I have heard Kate Bush talk once in one of my other videos, this one right here, but I've never actually seen her talk, at least I don't think. Either way, I'm really excited about it. Excited about seeing her very first interview, and this is an interview from March 1978. So,
lovely and fascinating song, Kate. What was it about Kathy and about Wuthering Heights that caught you, that made you write it?
Well, I saw a series on the television about 10 years ago, and it was on very late at night, and I caught literally the last 5 minutes of the series where she was at the window trying to get in, and it just really struck me. It was so strong, and for years it's just been going around in my head, like the basic story and that visual image of her at the window, and I thought it was just perfect material for a song. It's just so passionate and full of impact. It's great. And I read the book.
Hi, puppy. She has such a soothing voice. I mean, of course, she's got a beautiful voice in general, but she's got a really nice speaking voice, too.
In Hertford, Hereford and Hampshire, Hurricanes hardly ever at
Oh, no.
And I'm glad she's talking about Wuthering Heights, too. I'm going to talk about that in a second, because I wanted to do a special video, but I never got to do it because we decided to do a special video on the Kick Inside instead. But I want to finish listening to her interview.
Yeah, I read the book before I wrote the song because I needed to get the mood properly.
Is the pitch of your voice there your natural, comfortable singing pitch, or do you deliberately heighten it to get the effect of Kathy, this ghost-like effect?
Yes, I do. I do deliberately heighten it just because it's what the song calls for, but it's comfortable as well.
Do you have to, does it strain your
So
voice
cute.
to do it? I mean, do you take lessons to get it technically right so that you're not hurting your vocal cords?
No, I didn't actually take lessons to do that, but I do have a teacher who I haven't seen for months, in fact, but he keeps an eye on my voice to make sure I'm not pulling it around too much.
I remember reading in an interview, I don't know where it was, but a written interview where she was talking about this, and they asked her about this voice that she used too. I actually have heard it mentioned quite a few times, the fact that she used this kind of like banshee voice for the song Wuthering Heights. Quite a few people have mentioned it, and specifically the very first time I ever heard Wuthering Heights was the Pat Benatar version. I didn't even hear the Kate Bush version until much later. And in fact, when I was a little kid, every day on Fridays, me and my grandmother had what we called our day on Friday, and she would pick me up at school and she'd bring me fruit cocktail and cottage cheese. And we would spend the day together either baking or going to the movies or the circus or, you know, whatever. We always did something fun. Or we would just stay home and do fun things as well. And one of the things I loved to do was put on a show for her. And one of my favorite songs to do that with was Wuthering Heights. And I used to point a flashlight at a mirror and reflect it onto the wall so it looked like a big moon. And I would pretend like I was singing to the moon, Wuthering Heights.
When did you start writing songs?
I must have been 11 or 12. I mean, but that was a very unprofessional sort of situation.
Oh.
Was it in secret or for family and friends to hear?
Oh, always in secret. I could never do it in front of people. I've never been able to. And if I do, I automatically feel that the fact that it's a performance.
One of the comments in the comment sections on one of my Kate Bush videos, someone told me that the guy that she wrote the song Moving about was her dance teacher. And her dance teacher had no idea at all that Kate Bush even sang at all. Like, he had no idea. And one day he just found a record underneath his door, her debut album. And he found out that the very first song was dedicated to him, or something to that effect. Maybe I'm getting the story wrong. I hope I'm not getting that story wrong, but I'll leave the comment right here so you guys can see it.
Because as soon as you have someone in the room with you, I feel you should give them the best. You should perform.
Well, when did the music man come to hear about you, and how?
That was quite a gradual process. When I was about 14, there was a friend of my brother's called Ricky Hopper, who was in the business.
Shout out to Ricky Hopper.
And he acted as a friend to tapes across to people. And after some trying, there was no response. And he knew Dave Gilmour from the Pink Floyd. And
Pink Floyd.
Dave came along to hear me, because at that time he was scouting for struggling artists, and he'd already helped a band called Unicorn. And he came along and heard me, and he put up the money for me to make a proper demo with arrangements and selected songs, and we took it to the
I think they said Unicorn played on those songs,
age
right?
then? About 16?
Yes.
But the company then asked you, as I understand it, to sort of go away and write more and develop your voice. Get out! And they didn't at that stage want to release a song by you.
No, that's not quite true. They didn't tell me to go away. I signed the contract, and there was just feelings that we weren't sure how to handle it. I mean, I myself felt that I was very young at that time and not capable of handling the business. I didn't know anything about it. And I think they were also worried that I was too young, and that they were looking on it as a long-term project, and that they wanted to give me time. And I just used the time. I wasn't told to go and do anything.
Tell me about the process of writing songs. You mentioned Wuthering Heights, and it came from that image of Kathy at the window. Is it an idea like that, or is it perhaps sometimes a phrase of music or a few words that come into your head? How does it happen?
It's very often from other people. I mean, people are just so full of poetry. They say it all the time, you know, and there are the most amazing phrases that people come up with that just aren't covered. And you can really draw from people's minds and the situations people are in. They're always in different situations with different mental things going on inside them. For me, they're probably the most fascinating source of stimulation.
Some of your songs, there are love songs on the album, of course, some of them straightforward, explicit love songs, but there are dreams there too, and there are fantasies there too, and I wonder... And I wondered if you feel that there is a general direction in which you're moving in the songs that you write.
I like to think there is a direction, but it's only the fact that I'm connected with it and the piano is. I like to feel that otherwise I'm free to move, and I feel that you shouldn't plan yourself a direction, you should just move in a line, and hopefully a straight line.
When I was trying to think of possible influences on you, the name that kept coming to my mind was Joni Mitchell. I wondered if you were a fan of Joni Mitchell.
I admire her very much. I haven't in fact listened to her that much, and I think the main reason is I try not to listen to female artists too much, just because for me it would be too easy to relate with them. I mean, I love Joni Mitchell, and whenever I hear her, it sends shivers up me, you know, but I really try to listen to expansive music as well, just cover areas.
This kind of reminds me of how people told Tori Amos the very same thing about Kate Bush, her sounding like Kate Bush. And this is probably just something that a lot of female artists, well, a lot of artists get in general. People want to compare music to other music.
But the fact that the female artists get these kinds of comparisons a lot more, I think that's why artists like Kate Bush and Tori Amos will deny having listened to other female artists coming up. Even though later, Tori Amos did quite a few Kate Bush covers, and as I uncovered in my Stranded on the Moon Base reaction video, I realized that it sounded a lot like Joni Mitchell's Ladies of the Canyon.
And they sit you down to
fact shouldn't discredit them as artists, in the way I feel like a lot of these kinds of comparisons are used to discredit other female artists. Artists are not created in a vacuum. They have all kinds of different influences.
Were you surprised that a song as unusual as Wuthering Heights made it in the way that it has up to the top?
Yeah, I'm amazed. I always hoped that it would do something and that people would like it. But the extent and the speed is just incredible. It really is awesome. And it makes me feel like that high, really, really small.
In a piece about you the other day, the man from the Sunday Times addressed a warning to you at the end. And he said, the music business is a corrupting industry. What are those strange and ugly birds gathering in the trees around you? I'm not quite sure what he meant.
Traffic wardens.
What does he mean by that?
Is it going to be a tough business to live in and work in and survive in?
It's hard to say. I think you can make it tougher for yourself, but I think you can make it easier for yourself as well. It's like any business. It's
like framing and
how you
reframing
take
things,
it.
right?
And I think really, in a lot of ways, I'm very privileged to be put in situations that I'd never ever have the chance of being in. I mean, like seeing a studio, or meeting people I'd never meet. It's very privileged.
It's very nice for us to meet you. Thank you, Kate, for talking to us.
Thank you.
Great. Hi, Kitty again. I like the way he talked to her. I have this thing about with interviewers, because a lot of times when people interviewing other kind of untraditional, quirky people, I find that interviewers will treat them kind of, condescendingly, or like a kid, or I don't know how to explain it, but it's always a little weird. Bjork gets it, Tori Amos gets it. A lot of people who have a quirkiness to them seem to be treated in this way. And I didn't find he was like that at all. I thought he really treated her very seriously, and he was really listening to what she had to say. Yeah, I was surprised. Talk about a great first interview, right? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna look at is her first ever appearance on TV. It was on Germany's ARD channel on February 9th, 1978 in Cologne. Little Cologne never hurt anyone. Actually, I've been hurt by a few guys Cologne, honestly. Some guys put on way too much. Well, some girls do too. But mostly it's men. Now I can smell it in the air like crazy. If it's there after you've left, it's too much. Anyway, enough about Cologne. Let's watch her first TV appearance. I guess we're watching this out of order.
Vielen Dank. Sie waren die beste
It is German in German.
die ich je hatte.
A kiss on the hand. How classy.
Danke. So, wir lieben die Kontraste auf Klassik und Pop. Ich weiß nicht, ob Sie Pop lieben. Die Älteren unter Ihnen werden vielleicht
I don't know
bisschen
German.
laut. Das hat auch
There we know,
Dylan
if you know the
Bush schon
comments,
gedacht
we know
und
what he's
sagte,
saying.
Musik wird störend oft empfunden, weil sie mit Geräusch verbunden. Das war also auch kein Pop-Fan. Aber wenn der seine Urenkelin gekannt hätte, hätte er und dies ist ihr erster Fernsehauftritt. Und wenn Opa Bush den gehört hätte, hätte er gesagt, Musik wird störend nicht empfunden, solange sie mit Kate Bush verbunden. Hier ist sie, Kate Bush.
Kate Bush. I knew what that meant. Oh, Kite. One of my favorite songs from the album.
My feet are heavy and I'm booted in my windows, and I wanna get away, go from all these mirror windows. I look at eye level.
I can tell she's a little nervous. I know from performing myself. I get so nervous too.
There's a hole in the sky, the big eyeball calling me. Come up and be a kite, a diamond night, a diamond kite, a diamond kite. Ooh, on a diamond kite, on a diamond kite, over the line.
Oh, she's feeling it now.
I love the homeland door. I got the limbs, I'm like a feather on the wind. I'm not sure if I wanna be up here at all, and I like to be on the ground, but I don't know how to get down, down, come up and be a fly, and fly a diamond fly, and die,
Oh yeah, that was so cute. I could tell she was so nervous in the beginning. I would totally be nervous too, though. It was my when I had my very first TV appearance. If I had my very first TV appearance, I can imagine I'd be very nervous too. But you could tell by the end of it, or by the middle of it, you could tell she's really getting into it, basically. But there must be a second song here. Oh, Wuthering Heights.
out on the wily, windy moors, sweet roll and falling green. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hot, too greedy.
What do you think, Tampi?
Could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you, I loved you too. Why did you told me I was going to lose the fight. They got high and I wobbled through the heights. It's me, Kathy, I'll come home around. So cold, but me and your window. It's me, Kathy, I'll come home around. So cold, but me and your window. Oh, it gets dark, it gets lonely on the other side from you.
You know, this kind of movement is really hard to do when you're singing.
I'm coming back now, cool people, by one tree, by
It's really hard to give yourself diaphragm support.
till I'm alone in the night. I'm coming back to your side to quiet nights. Coming home to walk through the heights with you. It's me, Kathy, come home now. So cold, let me under your window. It's me, Kathy, come home now. So cold, let me under your window.
Well, that was gorgeous.
You're so never hiding, never ground. You're so it's me, it's me, Kathy, come home now. So cold, let me under your window.
looks like a willow. Woo! Oh, she did so good.
Kate,
That's a really hard song to do too, especially with all that movement.
Kate, you are great.
Kate, you're
Das reicht
great.
sogar. Kate, you are great. Nicht nur ein fabelhafter Notenständer, sondern auch eine hervorragende Rosenfrau.
Aw, give her a rose.
Thank you. Meine Damen und Herren, ist das ein Talent? Und in 10 Jahren, vielleicht in 5, vielleicht schon in 2, wird sie in New York auftreten, in der Carnegie
She
Hall,
looks so
vielleicht im
pretty.
Madison Square Garden. 15.000 Leute werden toben. Dann wird sie sagen, pssst, alle werden ruhig. Und sie wird sagen, vergessen Sie nicht, den Anfang habe ich gemacht im Depot der Köln-Frechen-Benzelrather Eisenbahn.
You think she knows German? Let me know in the comments if she knows German.
Der Arme hat kein Wort.
Is she
Der Arme
understanding
hat
what
kein Wort
what he's
verstanden.
saying?
When you will be very big, and I know you will appear
She sure
in a
will.
big hall, and you will say, but never forget, my begin was in the depot of the Köln-Frechen-Benzelrather Eisenbahn. Can you say that?
I wonder if she does remember
Can you
that.
say Köln-Frechen-Benzelrather Eisenbahn?
Köln-Frechen Eisenbahn.
Do you know any word in German?
Nein.
9. Okay, so that answers
Yeah.
that question.
Better? Okay.
Thank
you. Okay. Thank you very much.
That was adorable. That interaction was so adorable. Oh, that was so cute. Oh, that was a great performance, though. You could tell she was nervous too, but by the end of it, she was really cooking. You know, she was doing really well.
Okay, I could not let this go left unsaid. Who did the lighting for this TV show? It was so dark. I mean, didn't our lovely Kate deserve a face spotlight? I mean, most of the time you can only see her hair and not her face, and it's not quite the look. I mean, unless maybe the cameraman was the head of the Samara fan club.
I'm so glad we got to hear a version of Wuthering Heights, since I actually didn't do it on my video because I thought I was going to do a special video of Wuthering Heights. I really wanted to react to the Pat Benatar version and the original version, and also the parody, which actually I've never heard. Let me know if that's worth seeing too. By the way, what do you guys think of the Pat Benatar version? I know a lot of people don't like it and find it boring. I like both versions. They're just very different takes of a great song. I will always have a special place in my heart for the Pat Benatar version though, because like I said, it's the very first Kate Bush song I heard and the very first version of Wuthering Heights that I heard. And you gotta love the high note that she does at the end. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of it. I really love what she was wearing too. She was very thin, but it kind of gave me flashbacks to stuff that I used to wear in college though. Maybe I should bring that back. Well, thank you so much for coming by and checking out Kate Bush, 2 of Kate Bush's first. If you guys have any suggestions for me for other interviews that were around this time period, let me know in the comments. I'd really like to maybe react to some more interviews or some more performances. Anything that you think would be really interesting for me to watch, I'd love to see it. Maybe that we'll do like a subscriber suggestion video or something like that. If you like the video, then, well, like the video. And if you'd like to see more of the Kate Bush journey, consider subscribing. It really makes a big difference to the channel. I'm trying to make this my full-time gig, like I've said at other times. So help a girl out. Help a girl achieve her dream, especially for Christmas. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, that your life is a wonderful, beautiful musical, and I hope that I get to see you next time. Popcorn Philosopher, over and out.